Oh, we are live.
Yeah, I just
Now we have names.
We don't need names. Oh, we do need names. Yes, because it's not the podcast thing. We don't need
We
names in the
do.
podcast thing.
I'll
I
tell you what.
forgot.
I'm sick. I'm not sure. Anytime I wear a hat, it ever looks like it's on straight. Like this looks crooked to me, and it really bothers me.
I think it looks straight. I think the curve might not be completely symmetrical, which is what's
I
throwing me
know it
off.
bugs me.
I don't look good in hats. I can't pull off hats.
I think I just do it enough to where you might get used to seeing me in a hat.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't
I'll
know.
tell you what. I
Facts.
forgot. Actually, I'll save this for later when we have more people.
Do I even have a hat? I was gonna put on a hat to see if it worked, but I don't even think I have a hat around. But anyway, Celtics play today. Yesterday off, win against
Hey, Jack
the
and hey.
Pistons. Hello, Jackin. Win against the Pistons on Saturday night.
I had somebody say that was the best one of the season to me, or the best performance of the season.
I think it was impressive. I think it was one of Tatum's best performances all season, and obviously the Celtics should beat
Going
the
out
Pistons.
on a limb there.
Yeah, right. But considering they were missing Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford on top of Robert Williams and Gallinari, who haven't played all season, it was a huge win. Celtics threw out a starting lineup of Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jayson Tatum, Blake Griffin, Grant Williams, correct? And they took home the win.
Which
Tatum,
I predicted
points.
100% correctly.
Yes, you did.
Including Blake Griffin. And then given the opportunity to predict the Pistons, I said no.
Yeah. I
took
remember
my ball
that.
and went home.
You want to predict the Thunder tonight?
No.
Celtics, so they go back to Al and Grant and the normal?
I think it would be the normal.
Okay.
No Brogdon again today.
Jackin says it was Tatum's best game ever. That is a statement. I don't think ever.
I don't know.
I can think of two
Game
off the top of my
against
head.
Milwaukee might be the best ever.
That was one. I think the 60-pointer against San Antonio was also one of the best. Obviously, it was 60, but they also
that was a crazy game.
They
came back from being down 30.
Exactly. They needed the 60 to get back into it. But yeah,
what a time that was.
He was great, and Marcus Smart continued to be absolutely phenomenal. I wrote about him this morning for Celtics blog. He's been one of the best point guards in the league. He's been the best facilitator the Jays have had around them. And I pulled this stat for the article I wrote for Celtics blog. Only 6 different combinations of Celtics have thrown 10 assists to the other, i.e. Tatum has thrown 11 assists to Brown. Brown has thrown 12 to Tatum, or maybe the flip-flop of that. Derek White has thrown 11 to Tatum, and Horford has thrown 11 to Tatum. The other two are both Marcus Smart to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and he's thrown 31 assists to Tatum and 29 to Brown. Like he is both of those numbers are in the top 5 assist combinations in the league, not even on the Celtics. Like the only combinations better than that, Halliburton has thrown 36 to Hield. Conley has thrown 33 to Markkanen. Murray has thrown 32 to Jokic, and all 3 of those teams, or 2 of those teams played last night. And then it is Smart to Tatum and then Smart to Brown. He's developed an amazing connection with those two. He's one of 3 point guards in the league, averaging 7 assists. One of 3 players in the league, averaging at least 7 assists and less than 2 turnovers. He's shooting 35% from 3 over the last 7 games, 36% over the 6-game win streak. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 9.6 assists. He's been incredible. Picking it up from a slow start to the season. This is, I would say, turning into his best season yet as a Celtic.
If he keeps it up, yeah, for sure. Right now, 7 assists a game is good enough for 10th in the NBA. Amongst the top 10, only him and Chris Paul. They are tied for the least amount of turnovers at 1.5 per game. Mike Conley right behind him at 1.6. But, you take the first place where you can get it. That's pretty elite company, if you ask me, for Marcus to be with, especially somebody that's always pinned as being reckless, careless, loves to chuck, using the green screen as a curtain. I'll tell you what, I have the green screen, but the green screen does not fill the background.
No.
There was one podcast where I put the green screen up, and like you can still see like the corner there. You can still see like over here. Like it just looks silly. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it. And I had it as close as I could to me. If I wheeled back in my chair, it did collapse. That's why it's not up. I don't know. It's just there.
It was brutal.
But back to Marcus Smart again. During this win streak, like you said, Jack, he has just been fantastic. He's just been everything you could ask for. He had that amazing sequence in Detroit where he hustled back, stole the ball from Jaden Ivey, saved it behind the back to Tatum. Then Tatum threw the lob to Grant, which he refused to do earlier this calendar year. Famously just left him hanging on the fast break and took it himself, and then said, I do not trust Grant enough to throw him a lob.
And that was the second diving, save, steal, assist he's thrown against the Pistons in the past week too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He's been, it's been great to watch. As a Marcus Smart supporter, the haters are in shambles at the moment. No real ground to stand on. Malcolm Brogdon getting to this Thunder game. Brogdon still out. Williams and Gallinari both out as well. No Gallinari revenge game. But Al Horford, Jaylen Brown off the injury report, so they should be playing. I'm kind of glad they got that rest against the Pistons. I will say, though, the amount of minutes Tatum is playing is a bit... You want him healthy for the playoffs. He's young enough where you can play him a bunch of minutes, but you don't want him worn out. Like in years past, I'm not saying they're the same player because Embiid is obviously a bigger guy, but you've seen in years past Embiid having to take on this huge load just to get his team into a good position in the playoffs, and then he's exhausted by the time he gets there. You don't want the same thing to happen to Tatum, and they've been able to combat that by having, JB in there, by having Tatum sit out a couple games. He's playing a career high in minutes this year, so Joe Mazzulla, when asked about it today, saying we're going to play guys as much as they need to win, which I'm sure is great to hear for Celtics fans. But in the long run, you got to be careful with the minutes, I think, especially when you have as much talent on the team as you do.
Yeah, and the injuries so far have made it tough. Like Grant, 45 minutes in Detroit on Saturday.
Legend.
I know, double for him. Good for him, man. Good game from Grant. But yeah, all these guys, you really don't want to have them loaded up on minutes this early into the season. What have you played 13 games and you're already logging 45-minute games? You already got guys out. A hamstring injury from Brogdon. I mean, muscle injuries are always kind of wear and tear. Not that he's been out there for 40 minutes a game, but you got to keep your eye on that. It's good that they're not rushing him back. But on the other hand, for the other guys, it means they're going to have to play more. Somebody that should be benefiting from this is Peyton Pritchard, who played well on Friday against Denver, was okay against the Pistons. Looking forward to seeing him again today. That's good for him as a player and also good for the team, because if they decide they want to move him, you're finally going to have some sample size to show other teams like, hey, he's still got it. He can still give you something off the bench if you trade for him. If you give us something that we need, maybe a big man, go ahead, come get him. We'll throw whatever. We'll throw a second-round pick or whatever it needs to be to get the other team to commit. Pritchard's a good player. He's too good to be wasting away at the end of the bench, Jack. We've talked about this. I've written about this. And as soon as I wrote about this, Brogdon got hurt and now he's playing. So, of
course. And I think that's the reason you have him. Also, hello to Phil. Yes, he has been steady. Why do I feel Peyton is trade bait? I feel like right now they're using him, as insurance for injuries, because Brogdon's obviously not going to play a ton when he is injured and banged up like this. Smart, I can't imagine him playing an 82-game season, but you have Pritchard off the bench. He can give you solid minutes. And as great as he is, the unfortunate truth is there are just three guys ahead of him that are all clearly better than him. And that's just the way the NBA works. It's a title team. He's gotten minutes in years past, and you can look at it and say, oh, he played 20 minutes 2 years ago. Like, what are we doing? That team also got eliminated in the first round, right? Like, let's put some context to it. It sucks because Pritchard can be a valuable piece on a finals team because he was last year. He played around 15 minutes a game. I'm 90% sure that number dipped off in the playoffs, but it's just him being a 20-minute guy on a finals contending team. You kind of like, he's a good piece. He's a good rotational piece. He's a good 9th, 10th man. But when you have 3 guards in that 10-man rotation above him, it's going to be tough for him to crack it. Thank you, Jackin. I appreciate you for the compliment.
Just in case
yeah.
you didn't know.
Also, the starting 5 tonight, by the way, it is the same. They're going back to the Grant and normal stuff.
Well, good. Grant, who typically is a starter, is very bad, but not Saturday, not in Detroit. Is that the best game of his career besides Game 7? It might be.
I think so. I think it's only his first or second double-double. So it's got to be up there. I mean, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from deep. Very well-rounded. Caught a lob, making shots. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was probably his best game of his career, especially as a starter where you usually see him struggling. On the day after the reports come out about the Celtics not paying him, Celtics offered around, they capped out at $50 million 4 years, and Grant would have accepted $14 million a season for 4 years, but they said
Oh
no.
my God, dude. See, I was already mad about this.
Yeah.
I thought he wanted more than $15 million, and they said no.
Let me find
he was reasonable. He was reasonable, and they still didn't extend him, and now he's playing his ass off. He's first in the league in true shooting percentage, if I'm not mistaken. Or that's it, right? When you combine threes and the 2-point field goal, that's true shooting, or is that something else? Effective field goal.
He's shooting 60% from the field and 50% from three right now.
Yeah, he's like shooting the lights out, and they didn't extend him. He's giving them good minutes in the starting lineup and off the bench. They didn't extend him. He's now creating his own shots, taking step back threes and making them. They didn't extend him. When this happened, I was on them about this. And obviously you were too. You're the biggest Grant guy, but I just couldn't believe they didn't extend him, because now you risk him walking or some other team throwing the bag at him. And now you're really going to have to pay.
Let me make Sam mad even more, chat. Watch this. Report from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, reputable source.
You say Michael Scott?
Michael Scotto. Scotto? I don't know how you say
it.
Scotto, during extension talks with Grant Williams, the Celtics never offered more than $50 million guaranteed over 4 years. As previously reported, Williams would have taken a deal for $14 million annually, which would have translated to
less than 60.
Less than 60, 56 million. There are some around the league that believe an offer of around $18 million annually could be too much for Boston to match in restricted free agency.
But why? You can't. It's not like they can spend that money somewhere else. They can't. You're just letting a guy walk that's giving you solid minutes off the bench. It's not like you have someone to replace him. Horford's not getting any younger. Who's going to replace Grant? Who's going to fill those minutes? I'm not saying Grant's a perennial all-star. I'm not saying he's the second coming. He might not even be like a true starter in the league. However, on this team, he's proving to fill an important role for you. Why would you just lose him for nothing and then not be able to fill the spot? That's how teams fall when they're contenders. That's how you end up seeing a team fall into mediocrity.
Yossi Goslin, who's another Hoops Hype guy. He's like cap. I think he does cap stuff for them. I figure if Boston wasn't even offering him $14 million a year, it feels to me they were trying to match what the rest of the backup 4/5 stretch big man market was for this recent offseason. Look at what PJ Tucker, Maxi Kleber, and Larry Nance got. All those guys, 11 to 12.
He's better than all those guys.
I understand that he plays. I think he plays a very similar role to all three of those players, but the difference is he's younger and still has room to grow.
I'd rather have him than any of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue against you, but I understand.
And I'm not the biggest Grant guy. You are.
Yeah.
I just can't believe you're letting a guy. I mean, they haven't let him walk yet, but you didn't extend him.
I think 14 is a fair number. I think that's a very fair.
That is a fair number. 15's fair. They're going to end up having to pay him 18 now, and then they're going to complain about it. And you also, not for nothing, if you extend him and that's what he makes, then you are able to trade him easier. The more money you pay somebody, the harder it is to trade them regardless of what the difference is. If you're paying him $18 million now and he falls off a bit, it's going to be harder to get your money back in a trade. If he's at $14 million, he has to really underperform for that not to be worth it, especially the way the new TV deal is going to have the cap move and how the value on all these contracts is going to skyrocket. Everyone's going to be more valuable. I'm the king of hating on guys making like over 35 million a year, and those contracts are going to become normal.
Mm-hmm.
You won't pay him 14? Really? What are you doing with that money?
Yeah. I think
good thing I really don't, as I wear a Red Sox hat, really don't care about baseball that much because, I mean, the Red Sox are really cheaping out. They don't even have a cap.
You know, they got nothing. They got nothing. Yeah, I think they fumbled the bag a little bit. We'll have to wait and see what happens in free agency now. I mean, this comes from a report about they were talking about all the guys and get it. Yeah, he'll be restricted. Talking about how the Hornets were discussing a contract around 4 years, $50 million with PJ Washington. I think he's more valuable than that. You look at Cam Johnson. The Suns discussed contract extension spanning 4 years, 66 and 72 million. That's a lot, but that's going to be what Grant Williams probably is going to go for next summer. That's for Cam Johnson. Another guy, Cam Reddish. There weren't really talks. Kobe White. There weren't really talks. Like Grant Williams, Cam Johnson, PJ Washington, excuse me. Those are the real three guys in restricted free agency. And out of all of them, I think Cam Johnson's probably the best, but Grant Williams is right there with him. And for Grant, the report to come out saying Grant would have accepted 14. That's the thing. And Jack and saying we can match anything he's offered. The Celtics can, but now you run the risk of teams overpaying. And he's not going to shoot 60%, 50% the whole season. But even if he keeps that up to like 50, 40, 90, close to those, he's going to get a $20 million offer next summer. I'm telling you, you're
going to have to pay him.
He's going to get 4 years, 80 million from a team out there that can hand him a larger role within the offense and pay him to play great defense, shoot the ball, and be a leader. Because that's what he does in the Celtics. Look at the Detroit Pistons. Imagine if they had him there for Bojan Bogdanovic and having Bojan off the bench, right? You look at other teams, the Rockets, they could use a stretch four. The Spurs, if they want to kickstart their rebuild. The Thunder, maybe the Thunder want to pair Grant Williams with Shai, Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren. That's like a very, very good young starting five there. And they could contend for a playoff spot in the West. It's just brutal. Landon saying, let him go for a TPE. I think Sam would have nightmares if we had another TPE. But
yeah, because then I have to try and like figure out what's going on. Lot of questions that need to be asked when the Celtics have a TPE. Last 2 years or so, Jack and I would always be trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Who can fit? Who can't fit? Can they combine it? Can they not combine it? We're answering questions for people in the chat. The blind leading the blind. No more TPs. No more.
All right, Sam. Thunder starting lineup is out. Are you sure you don't want to guess?
All right, I'll try. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep.
Dort.
Yep.
Giddey.
Yep.
Pokashevsky.
Yep.
Oh, wow, look at that. 4 for 5. And I don't know who plays big for them.
Poku's playing center. I'll put it that way.
He's playing center.
Mm-hmm.
It was a catastrophe. I don't know.
It's a rookie.
Then I definitely don't know.
Jalen Williams.
Nope, would not have got
8th
that.
or 9th overall pick.
Even though I did know he has the same name as another guy that got drafted. There's two Jalen Williams on the same team.
Both on the Thunder, yep.
Yeah.
Well, one is Jelen Williams. The other is Jaylin Williams.
I did a good job.
Yeah, you got 4 to 5.
Good job.
Solid. Love to see it.
Congratulate me, chat.
Keith tweeting out, this is going to be one of the first times this season the Celtics actually have a size advantage because Jalen Williams is only about 6'6", and I know Grant is as well, but you look at Tatum too, Tatum, Brown, Smart versus Giddey, Dort, Shai, and then, I mean, maybe they're the same height, but Al Horford's a bigger dude than Pokashevsky.
I may be a bigger dude than Pokashevsky.
Yeah, exactly. So they have that advantage. OKC does have 3 Williams. Sam, can you name the third?
Oh man, it's Kendrick or Kenrich.
The
guy with the mullet.
Yes, sir. Mullet. I don't know if he got rid of the mullet. I'm not sure. He is a potential TPE target that I like.
Yeah, see, I know him from that too. We've talked about his name enough.
Keep that in mind. Yeah. Thunder tonight. Sorry, Thunder are a better team than a lot of people realize, and a big part of that is SGA. I think the reports that Shai is frustrated with losing don't mean that he wants to trade. I tweeted this out the other day. I think they mean that he is just going to put them on his back, because that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been insane this season. He's going to be an all-star this year. I can't imagine a world where he's not. And you can scream out empty stats all you want. But when you're,
are you talking to me?
Yes. I think empty stats are more relevant when the shooting splits are bad. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're averaging 30 points but
Yes.
shooting 40% from the field and 30% from deep, then you can say, okay, those are empty stats. Shai is not doing that. So far this season, Shai is shooting 54% from the field, 36% from deep, 93% from the line, averaging 31 points, 4.4 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. And the Thunder aren't even that bad. They're 6-7. So, like, he is just leading this team to victory so far. And he's been one of the best players in the league. He's very fun to watch too. And I know you're not going to want him to play well. Hopefully he shoots poorly, but he is fun to watch at the very least. So a treat tonight.
Well, they scored 145 yesterday in regulation, right?
Yeah.
Hate to see that. I mean, that juggernaut Knicks team, whatever will they do?
I mean, the Celtics defense isn't all that either.
No, it's not.
Outside of Shai, though, leading scorers for the Thunder, Josh Giddey averaging almost 15, also 7 rebounds and almost 6 assists. Lou Dort's averaging 13.5 with some 1.5 steals. Trey Mann is averaging 11 off the bench, but he's not shooting super efficiently. Then you got Poku with 9, JRE with 8, Jalen Williams with 8, Eugene Omoyori, bunch of guys. A lot of people won't know. They got a lot of young players, as one would expect. And then Mike Muscala and Kenrich Williams there off the bench too, just kind of hanging out. But yeah, very young team. One guy to watch out for is Isaiah Joe. He hasn't played a ton for them, but when he does, he scores the ball. He's lights out. The Sixers waived him, and OKC immediately signed him to a 3-year deal. He's shooting 44% from deep this year. He's been a torch. So if there's somebody that's going to come in and bug you, Sam, Isaiah Joe, I'll tell you now.
All right. Former 76er.
Yes. Yeah, they
released games. Him. Yep. From the bench. Sixers yesterday beat the wagon Utah Jazz. Embiid, all the points. Massive fourth quarter. 5 blocks in the fourth quarter. I think that's more impressive than the 25 points or whatever he had.
He was ridiculous. He was phenomenal. Shout out. You can dislike Embiid all you want, but
I like him.
He's incredible.
Don't like the free throws.
Yes. I think the MVP race this year is going to be a very, very, very close one. I think there are, right now at least, I think there's 6 or 7 guys who have a legitimate shot at winning it. Obviously, Tatum is one. But you look around the league, projecting out. Sam might be frozen. Sorry, guys.
I'm back.
Hello. I was saying I think the MVP race is going to be very close. I think there's 6 or 7 guys around the league who have a real shot at winning it, especially when you forecast like improvements and records. Like I think Embiid will be in the conversation again. Yep. I don't think Jokic will be because of voter fatigue. But you look at Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Ja Morant, Trae Young. That's 5 right there. And I'm obviously forgetting some people as well.
Marketing.
I need to look at the NBA standings. Yeah, more marketing. I think Dame will be in the conversation down the stretch if they keep up this pace. Donovan Mitchell, too, if the Cavs climb back up towards the top. Jokic will be there. Devin Booker will be there. I'm just like, it is a very wide open race for MVP so far this season, when it feels like in years past, it was like, okay, this guy's going to win. And even like last year at this point, it was like Steph Curry is going to win MVP. But it didn't transition from Steph Curry to like, oh, there's a bunch of guys can win it. It transitioned from Steph Curry to, oh, never mind, it's Jokic. You know what I'm saying? It felt very niche. Like there were guys that were definitely going to win it. But this year, it's kind of an open playing field, which is exciting.
I'll tell you what, people really want Curry to get the MVP. I'm seeing all over how his stats this year are very similar to his unanimous MVP season.
Yeah, they're great, but they're also 0-7 on the road.
Yep.
So you're not going to.
I'll tell you what, you don't win. I don't care.
I agree. Hey, Russell Westbrook's playing really well.
Doesn't care.
Matter. Doesn't matter. The West is a mess, man. The whole Western Conference is in shambles.
I will tell you what.
Hit it.
I saw Jack and talk about it a little bit earlier in the chat. Pick of the night presented by Smash the Odds at Smash Odds on Twitter. Make sure you follow them for all the free picks. Subscribe to the premium service. Get yourself the premium picks and make yourself some money. You can get daily picks if you want on the weekends for Saturday and Sunday. I believe it's $25 a pop, and you can enjoy the football days. Pick. Under 228 for the game total tonight. My pick, Marcus, double plus 414. Jack, do you have a pick?
I'm looking right now. I mean, you could probably guess. I'll probably lean towards Grant Williams' points. Let me see what it's at.
They don't have his threes.
It's a shame. Points for Grant Williams is currently at. They didn't put up his points. DraftKings. That's a shame.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, the books have been slacking. They don't have the Hauser numbers. They don't have Grant right now. I had to go, and if you don't like the double, I will say over 6.5 assists for Marcus.
I'll go under 8.5 rebounds for Al Horford. I don't think he's going to get 8.
Okay. That's
my prediction. Under 228? Really?
That was the pick. That's what he gave me. Thunder on a back-to-back.
Crazy. I don't think any Celtics game has been under 228 this season, has it?
Oh, they must.
Maybe the Wizards game. One. Maybe the Wizards game. But I think that's probably. Let me look. Celtics ESPN. That's a bold pick. From who is it? Devin? Is that guy?
Yeah.
Who does it?
By the way, they are on our show 6-2 with the picks.
Okay. There you go. Okay, so Miami game was under 228. Chicago, Washington. Okay, sure. All right. I guess it's less common than I thought.
Hauser does scare the crap out of the books, Jack, and he's absolutely right.
He does. No one wants to put out.
They still won't put it up. 14th game of the year. They will not put it up.
They refused. You know what's crazy? Looking at the schedule now, there have only been 2 games this season where one of the Jays hasn't scored 30 points.
That is what you call usage rate.
That's insane. That is incredible. It was the Miami game, Tatum had 29. 3. Chicago, Tatum had 26. Washington, Brown had 24. Every other game, it's been 30 plus, 30 plus, 30 plus. That's crazy. Tatum averaging 30 plus.
I almost think the 30-point games are like not as impressive to me anymore.
Which it's just a testament, I think, to how good they are. Like that's just...
not them in general. I just mean around the league. Look how many guys average over 30 a game right now.
Offense is just up. Definitely, offense is up. It makes it all the more impressive that 1 year Harden averaged 40. That was stupid. Like hindsight, he averaged 40 points and 11 assists on like a really good team. That's ridiculous. Anyways, cool, genuine Phil. What's up, man? 122-105 Celtics prediction. I'd love to see it. And Jacken is correct. OKC did put up 145 last night. That's what scares me with the 220 something. But back to back, I suppose. Anyways, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, I will say I have a little story. I went to the game Friday. So did Jack, but he went in a different capacity. Went with some friends from my old job, and I got to tell you, one of the dumbest things I've ever witnessed is one of my friends. I will not name him. We are going through the security. Mm-hmm. And as you go through security, they've got what you should do. They say watches on, keys, phone, wallet out of your pockets. And then they have like weapons, like gun, knife with like the circle and the line through it. So I go, I'm third. There are 5 of us. So 2 of my friends go through, I go through, and we're waiting on this guy. And he's there for a while. And then he comes and he says, yeah, I forgot I had a pocket knife in my pocket. And then he's upset that they took it.
No shit, they took it. Like what?
Can you believe that? He's like, I can't believe they took my pocket knife. Like what?
My dad did that in the airport when I was a kid. He brought his pocket knife by accident. He just like shipped it back to the house, like at a station they had. But
I didn't know you. Maybe that's an option. I don't know. I
doubt at the game, but
lucky you didn't get arrested.
Yeah. Sam and I also played basketball the other night.
We did yesterday. We got Jack to go outside.
Well, no. I mean, I was inside.
Well, you were outside, and then you were inside.
Briefly, I learned that I'm too slow.
Now I'm frozen.
I cannot.
All right.
There Sam goes. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning into the Bannertown build-up. We will see you guys next time after the game. Check us both out on Twitter. check out the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube page. Go subscribe to that. We appreciate it. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at How About Them C's. We're here 30 minutes before every Celtics game, and we'll see you guys before the next one. Peace out.